Alright, so first thing, if you're serious about climbing, don't be AFK at the beginning of matches. Buy your items, watch the top buff for your jungler. Make sure he doesn't get cheesed or invaded. And if they do invade, put a ward down. It helps your team because there's so many times there will be not a large enough, like let's say out of 100 games, maybe 10 of the games, your jungler gets his red cheese and he's behind for the entire game because of that. And you can alleviate that from happening just by making sure you're here. I used to do this all the time. I never do this anymore unless I'm playing with friends. When I'm playing with friends, I kind of troll an AFK invades. It's like a meme amongst my friend group. But when I'm playing solo queue, I don't do it. You're trying to figure out what to start. Okay, so you're saying you normally don't do this. I think. I mean, I guess you did already go Klepto at this point. I mean, the way I would have done this lane is I would have let Pantheon push the lane into me. I would have gone Doran Shield, and I would have probably got Resolve secondary and just get like second wind. I think I'd go second wind. Maybe bone plating. Like if I wanted to fight him at least a little bit, I'd go bone plating and I'd play around my bone plating. But I definitely would have gone D shield and just kind of played the lane really passive and just minimized. You could have gone like triple rejuve bead too. Like there's a couple of like cheesy starts you can go. You could go like triple rejuve bead, double armor, and adaptive force, and just kind of like let him push you and just sustain up, and go like grasp as well, and just is like that actually could work. You go grasping, dying, bone plating with revitalize, and you go triple rejuve bead with double armor, and you're not going to deal a whole lot of damage in lane, but you won't be able to be pushed out. So anyways, let's back up. Regardless, you have Klepto. I think corrupting is fine. You got a bad, like, so the moment I walk into lane like this, right? Just right off the bat. So I want to make sure that I have a good mark so that if I walk for a CS and he's going to Q you, right? That's what Pantheon does. That I can always at least counter with my Q at level 1. Because he has to hit you with spells 4 times to get his passive up, right? He can't get that block until he has used the spell 4 times or auto-attack 4 times. Or some mixture of the two, right? So the moment I see this mark spawn behind him, I immediately walk into my tower. Because when you walk out of vision, right? The mark resets and you can walk back in and you let the RNG go another time. It will not spawn behind him. Instead, it will spawn on the sides or right in front. And that, again, you will be able to get those. Whereas you can't really get this one. So then I can walk up for the minion, get the CS, he Qs me, then I Q him, we equalize the trade, right? And I'll always Q him after he Qs me. That way, because right now, if you Q him at full HP, right? And then he Qs you, you both lose HP, right? Whereas if you let him, the Q hit you first, and then you Q him, right? Then you get a little bit of a heal, so it's a little more efficient, right? You changed D-Blade to Corrupting because I didn't know the matchup perfect. I think D-Blade would have been greedy. If you go any of the Doran's items in this matchup, I think D-Shield for sure. Yeah, just farm it out. I failed doing that for sure. Yeah, we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, do you get what I'm saying, though? You should have definitely reset here. Like, walk back. It looks like you're walking back. Do you actually do it? No. Yeah. Because now you can't walk in, you just attack his passive for free. Where you could have kept hitting the wave, you let him Q you, right? And the moment he Qs you, all your minions aggro him, which means it will push into you, because his minions are hitting your minions, but your minions aren't hitting his. And then you Q him and walk into the bush, dropping the aggro instantly, and you equalize the trade, if not have an edge on it. And you still get access to CS. Because if you let yourself be zoned off the entire time, you can create this situation where, and sometimes you end up being level 1 with this massive wave on your tower. He just got level 3 and then you get dove. So it's... Yeah, you just use it for free. There goes your bone plating. Alright, so I see this so often. Like, you wanted to hit the mark and you walk up close to it. Like, with Fiora, you've gotta be you gotta be a little more patient. Take the extra second to walk up to the top and hit that. Because a lot of the times when you play this champion, when you feel like you're gonna hit a mark when you're right on top of them, it won't actually register. You have to walk up, like a little bit away from them, and get a better angle. Because so many times when I play Fiora, right, I'll be on top of them, right where the mark is, and it just won't register. Because since you're so close, it's not sure if you're hitting from the left side or the bottom side, just based on where you're positioned. So just get a cleaner angle and prioritize hitting that. Alright, so that answers the question. You get the heal and the true damage, but you don't get the auto attack damage. So it breaks the shield, but you still get the true damage and the heal. So that's good to know. Which means, in theory, you should be able to get grass procs off in this lane. I'm gonna have to try that out after this, just to double check. I think grass might be the best thing for this lane, honestly. If that does work. Put that aside, like, the big thing so far is that you should have reset your mark and try to contest him on the early CS before he gets his passive shield up. That's the only thing I would take away from your level 1 here. Wave crashes, that's fine. Your other bot side, he did a blue, what was it? He did a blue Gromp Scuttle clear, right? Most red side junglers will either do red Krugs to top Scuttle, or they'll do, if they expect the enemy jungler to do blue Gromp Scuttle, they'll just do red into the top Scuttle into top clear. So I would assume that their jungler's top side right now, because they clearly didn't do Krugs to bottom Scuttle because Shyvana's on it, unless they're stuck doing Krugs. And if they did Krugs here, it's kind of bad. So let's see, where are they? Yeah, he's top side. So if you go for any extended trade here, let's say you try to like trade with him for whatever reason, the jungler is going to be there to punish you for it, and yours is on the other side of the map. The only reason I bring this up is not because you did anything wrong here, but during the early game, as you're dealing with wave management, looking for trades, looking for CS, you always need to be conscious of where your jungler is on the map. Generally, even if you don't know where the enemy is, if your jungler is on your side of the map in a position to counter, you can be aggressive. But when your jungler's on the bottom side of the map, not only do you not have lane prio and you're just kind of soaking up XP, you can't afford to go for any risky mark procs or any risky trades, because if any of them go poorly, you'll just get dove instantly and your jungler's not around to back you up. So just something to keep in mind. Just be cognizant in the early game where your jungler is, especially when you have the back foot in lane. Alright. So let you go level 2. That's it. You went W, okay. I personally would have gone E to help me last hit under the tower. And I would have stayed away from him until 3. But if you're gonna go W second, you try to Q away. Again, you can react that. It's very hard, but you were at max range there. He does a little hop. You just kind of have to get used to what the animation looks like. You can go into practice tool, or not practice tool, but actually, yeah, you could. I think you use practice tool. I think he's a registered bot. If not, you can get a friend to do a custom game with you, and just tell him to pair it or stun you whenever it's up, right? And get used to the sound the animation makes. Get used to the way it looks, and eventually you can train yourself in this matchup to just parry it on audio cue. You hear the sound, the animation start, right? And you just press parry. And you don't even have to worry about aiming it to start off. Just get used to reacting, right? And just pressing W. Even if you aim it behind you, at least you block the stun, right? And then from there, once you get that down, you can practice aiming it. But it's really good to have a friend who will do matchup practice with you. Nice, you got the mark, and you hit the parry. Damn it, you get the parry damage off, which is good. 20 extra damage on W is very nice right now. Alright. Let's see what happens here. His stun should be coming up. His stun has a much lower cooldown than your parry, right? So after your when your parry's on cooldown, if you're gonna get close to him, it's not a good idea. You kind of have to concede pressure in lane, give up CS, and wait for that parry to come back up, or else he's just gonna like you walk forward for this. I doubt your parry's back up. Let's look. Yeah, it's not up. It's not back up. Let's see. Is his stun up? Oh, what do you know? It's up. This is something I was talking to my college mid laner earlier. He's having issues with the Yasuo Aurelia matchup when he plays Aurelia, right? He always like tries to just go for the stun on the Yasuo with Aurelia's stun, right? It's a projectile. Yasuo can block it with wind wall, so he blocks it. He blows his entire load onto the Yasuo. Doesn't really get anything because he blocks most of it with the wind wall, and then he loses the trade really hard. And then he just sits back for a while and then goes again when wind wall's back up. Yes, there's this spell that counters you, but you have windows, right? So wind wall is like a 21, 24 second cooldown. I think Aurelia E is like maybe 13 seconds. Like, I'm probably wrong on that one, but you have like that 10-second window to punish. Like, so you use the first cooldown to get their cooldown out, right? and nothing happens. All right, cool. But then you hit this window where if they walk up again, you can punish them. And that's how it is for you right now, but on the flip side, you have a spell that counters his stun, but yours has a massive cooldown, right? So when that's down, he has a spell. That spell will be back up for him sooner, which means that he has a power window, basically, where if you ever walk up within anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds after his stun's up, he know that he can hit you for free, and there's nothing you can do about it. And usually, you're your own worst enemy in these situations, because when I see you Q forward onto him like this, that tells me that you actually don't know that yourself. So you Q forward here, you're going to get stunned, you're going to eat a ton of damage, he's going to ignite you, and you're going to either be forced to recall, or hope that you can outplay like a risky dive situation, right? And against Pantheon, once you're below 15% HP, every Q and auto he hits you with is a crit. So it's like just very risky to stay after that. And whereas you could have sat back, you didn't need to go for that Q. You can give it the minion or give it the mark, wait for your parry to come up, and then you can test them, right? You can Q forward and press W, because you can actually buffer the W on Fiora as you Q. So you Q forward for the mark for the CS, expect him to just stun you instantly, and then you stun him for 2 seconds, and then get like 2 marks off and a bunch of autos, right? Before you can do anything about it. And let's say he stuns you instantly, right? The next time the spell's up, he may be expecting that, and this time you sandbag it. You know, there's mind games going on here. And if I'm talking too fast, or you need me to repeat something, or if you disagree with me, by all means say something and we can talk it out. So, but hopefully you're following along okay right now. And yeah, you said that you're forced to flash. And yeah, you're below 15% HP, so if you stay, he's just gonna... he is him, though. And your parry should be up now, so you're actually in your full mana. You're pretty safe here, honestly. We still don't know what the jungler is. Your jungler's topside now. This is where I would be like... your jungler's like one-shot, though, by the camp. He can't help you either. So that's when we check your jungler's HP. So right now, if you get dove here, no one's gonna be able to help you. So you really have to just kind of play this slow, let the wave hit, and just focus on getting CS. Don't Q forward aggressively, whatever. Oh, now you have to leave. Like, I would just leave at this point. But, or not necessarily leave, but you can't walk up to the wave. He'll just stun you for free here. There's a Dark Harvest. I feel like this is just so risky. Where's our jungler? He's clearing wolves. Alright. He could kill both of you. Well, one of you, really. Like, when I said both of you, he just picks one, and one of you should die. Because your parry, you just wasted parry. Let's see how you guys play this. I would have parried that. I got the slow. Like, 2 seconds slow. You block the Q damage, whatever. Like, you probably don't kill him there, but you definitely force flash. If when Shyvana went in and you just Q'd in and just parried immediately, like, the stun was down, so you're not going to be able to get your stun, but you can get the slow, right? Shyvana's Ignite, what a man. Alright, cool. So at this point in the game, you guys are winning. Like, mid's winning, jungle just got a kill. Your laner has no TP, you guys should be able to shove this lane in. This is where, like, right now, you're not going to be able to push this lane in fast enough. You'll push this lane in before Pantheon gets to lane, so you will deny him some minions. But if you spam ping Shyvana to help you push this coming wave, you will get it in to deny almost all the minions, right? And maybe she wants to get a recall in here, but I guarantee if you ask her to come and help you push this, she will help you. Because, like, she's going to get free CS in the XP, right? Who wouldn't want that as a jungler? Because, look, it's going to get stuck right out here, right? These melees will die, and then you can't hit these casters. And now you're going to be stuck waiting for the next wave to come. See? Now the wave's here. Now you can push this in. Right? There you go. And now you're freed up. And this could have happened like 10... Maybe not 10, maybe like 5 to 7 seconds quicker, but it's just a little more efficient, in my opinion. All right, so he got 4 minions, it looks like, out of the 2 waves, so that's still pretty good. If you think 12 minions, right? He lost 8 of them, so that's still not bad. Again, maybe that was a little nitpicky because the second wave did get there kind of at the perfect time. But in general, after you kill the top laner, just have your junglist shove the next wave if it's coming in, just to be a little more efficient. Yeah, all I have to do is just hold down control and spam ping, assist. It's a bad trade for you. Let's get items, right? He went Kindle Gem. And you use parry randomly, and now you just have to forfeit lane. Sit back, wait for your parry. That's pretty much the state of this lane right now. Sit back, wait for parry. Sit back, wait for parry. Parry's up. I would aggressively trade. You have more AD than he does. I'd go for it. You should have went for that mark. Now it's expired. And now you have a bad mark. This is where you walk out, get the mark to reset. That way you can actually walk in lane here. Alright. Looks like mark reset. Just walked out. And you get a top one. Cool. He's 6 now. So the moment Pantheon hits 6, and this goes for like Gangplank, Karthus, TF, Pantheon. The moment he hits, or Shen, when they're level 5, this is what I do. I ping level 5 to my team, and then I'll type out Shen or Pantheon will be level 6 soon. Even though it's like a minute away. Like he still has like 2 waves to hit. And then, that way they're like thinking about it. They're mentally prepping themselves for that. And then when he hits 6, I spam ping it, and then I type in Care Pantheon 6. And then I spam ping Care, right? And what this does is it mentally prepares my teammates, and then I also alert them that, okay, now that the global ult's up. Sometimes people won't look chat, some people mute all, but this basically makes it so you do everything in your power, where if he goes to a side lane in the roam, that your team is less likely to die to it. Because if you do nothing, almost always you're gonna get all off and fuck your team over. Whereas if you do something in this case, you make it much less likely. Again, it is solo queue, people don't pay attention, but when you're playing against global ultimate champions, it's your job to track their spells like teleport or their global ultimates and make your team aware of what's going on. That's a top laner's job. Well, man, I don't see any pings yet. He's level 6 and just left lane. You haven't pinged once, so he's walking down to mid lane right now, and you see it, and you're not pinging it. That was a blue ping. You haven't done anything yet. Still nothing. Now you ping missing, right? That's it. 1 ping is never enough. I'll tell you that right now. You should always ping 3 times minimum. And we saw him on wards walking down. So you're ping missing here. That means you didn't see him walk down. You should be ping missing here and care mid, right? So saying you spam the shit out of your keyboard and they never respected, that's a lie right here. Then maybe you did it later, but you did not do it right here. And again, spam pinging in chat is okay, but again, there's no loud sound effect for chat messages. There's like a little bup sound, but pings are in your face. There's an animation. They're loud. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna get nothing here, so that's good for you. This is where if you had Tiamat at this point, you could punish him for that. Obviously, you're not there yet. That's fine. I'd push this next wave as hard as you can and recall and get your Tiamat, because you should have it. Yep, you do have it. Because next time he ults like that and you have Tiamat, you punish him so hard. You guys have good deep boards right now. Alright, so right off the bat... Okay, you did do it. Actually, looks like... Okay, cool. Actually, it worked out. It worked out. So right off the bat, like when I play Fiora and I see something like this... Alright, I'm walking forward. See, I would have buffered my stun right there. Like, you Q forward, buffer stun. Like, he's gonna Q you or stun you as you're walking to him, right? So, if he doesn't stun you, at least you block the Q damage, right? Because he's probably maxing Q, right? It's his strongest ability. So you at least block that damage, and if he stuns you, you get the 2-second stun. So it's a win-win. And at this point, like, the moment I see this, I see the ulti. You're going to auto-attack at this mark right here. Whenever I'm in a 1v1 and I'm playing Fiora, and there's a champion close to the wall, right? They could hug this wall, and you could, in a lot of cases, never be able to hit the wall. Sometimes it bugs out, and you can get around the wall and hit that mark that's up against the wall, even if he hugs it. But a lot of times you can't. So when I play Fiora, I never use Q and marks. I just walk around auto-attack marks and I save Q for the marks that are hard to get. So if they're running away from me, I save Q for the mark farthest from me. That way I don't have to worry about getting it. or when I'm near a wall like this, I will prioritize Q to get this mark right here that he can defend, right, by hugging the wall. So then you get this one, and then you tried it. Then you can do the back one, and look, he never moves once. But if he hugged this wall right here, you would have never been able to get that fourth proc off, right? And he walks away. Like, he let you do that. But if you play against a better top laner, right, he's gonna hug that wall and not allow you to get that that mark. So you should prioritize getting that immediately. Walk forward, Q through him. That's good. You can auto attack now. Just pause for yourself. That's good. Katarina needs a W. Why isn't she Wing? Does she not have it? That was so bad. What is she doing? She let you. She fucked that up there. Like, look at this. Like, you did everything you could. You contributed everything you needed to. You shouldn't have dived there. Look at this. She Qs him, right? The moment she E's to you, this is what Cat should do. The moment she E's to you, she W's in place, then throws a Q. The W lands on her, resetting her E. Then she can E to the dagger she just threw on Pantheon, killing him, and then E back to you. Again, obviously it's not what we want to know, but like, yikes. Because she doesn't press W to reset her E, she has to walk into him, which means you have to dive with her, and it just fucks this whole play over. None of you should have died here. Like, whatever. And the only thing you could have done differently is just prioritize getting that wall mark first after the first mark you hit, right? Hopefully that made sense. If it didn't make sense, I'll go back and we'll look at that again. So far this lane isn't going that bad, honestly. Like, you're against a lane bully and you're pretty much even in CS, and he's died twice now. And you go Vamp Scepter. You should have went Tiamat, dude. I get the idea that, like, you want to sustain, but you also got to think about this, right? He is not going to let you auto-attack minions in lane for free to heal your HP back up. He's just going to Q you on cooldown. The only time you're able to be able to sustain back up with Vamp Scepter is when the minions are under tower and he goes to ward, or when he roams to another lane to ult. And when he roams to another lane to ult, you want Tiamat to punish him for that, not Vamp Scepter to sustain back up. Because all you're doing is like, alright, you've shoved me in, you killed mid with an ulti, and now I'm sustaining back up so I can sit in lane a little longer and let you do the same thing again. It's not a good idea. And then, so, hopefully that makes sense. Read earlier message. I didn't buy Tiamat because I wanted to keep waves close to my chances of getting a gank and free CS. I wouldn't play for your jungler. I just play to punish him. I feel like Tiamat's is kind of like a necessity in Fiora. Because Fiora's... When you look at the top lane meta, Fiora's a really good 1v1 champion. One of the best ones in the game. And then when you look at TP flanks, right? Almost every meta top laner is going to be better at you in the TP. Like, think of Sion, think of Camille, think of Jax. I mean, Camille isn't really meta, but think of Jax, think of even Aurelia. She has AoE stun, AoE ulti that slows, right? And does AoE damage. Think of, you know, Poppy. She's a little niche. Think of Nautilus is gonna be popular but more mid lane, but I'm sure you can be situationally top. Rides is a popular one. He can TP and at least give a 2-second guaranteed route, point and click route in someone, right? He doesn't require conditions, right? So, and there's more. I'm not gonna go into more, but there are obviously a lot more examples here. Malphite's one, just TP and press R. The point is that in most cases, it's you looking for the split push, looking for the 1v1. If you're playing to just kind of sustain up and just react TP, like your playstyles this game, either you're going to do nothing in lane, you're going to punish when your laner roams, or you're going to TP for the team, right? So if you TP for the team as Fiora, in most cases, the other top laner, if you both TP, assuming all things are equal, the other player is going to be more effective than you, right? So your other options, you're left with 2 more options, right? Do nothing in lane or punish roams. Well, how do you punish roams? With Tiamat, right? Or you can do nothing in lane, which is what you're opting to do by praying your jungler punishes someone who's overextent and sustaining back up and keeping waves close to tower for CS. Like, that's doing nothing. You're just kind of hoping your teammates, you know, you win the coin flip, right? Instead, you need to set yourself up to play to your win conditions, which is, in Fiora's case, is punish roams and look for 1v1. So You can 1v1 Pantheon, especially if you have the stun, but it's very hard to do. So your best bet is just to kind of punish roams and scale up, right? So every time he roams, you have Tiamat, you punish him, get tower plates, chip, or at least chip damage at the very least. And so every time he roams, you know it's gonna hurt him, right? He can't do it for free. So and I just let it crash into you. This is where you let it crash into you, use Tiamat, because like you don't need the sustain, right? If you have Tiamat, you sit back. He's trying to shove the lane constantly because he wants to roam. You know that, right? You let him push it in. You spam ping, care, Pantheon R. He could go mid, he could go bot, whatever, and then use Tiamat to instantly clear this wave, and then he's forced to come right back up. Whereas if you're sitting here slowly clearing it up, he will definitely go for the roam. And then when you actually see the ult, you don't push fast enough to punish it. Whereas if you have Tiamat, again, you force him to come back to lane sooner, and if he doesn't, then you get plates. So I have, let's see, so I've done that by a couple of different games for the same reason, that I don't get frozen on. Should I just say fuck it and buy Tiamat? So in this game, I mean, Pantheon has already shown that he's constantly trying to roam, like since like the moment he's hit 6 and before he had the opportunity to buy Tiamat. I agree that if you get Tiamat and you're losing, you can put the wave in a bad spot and it can get frozen on you, right? Now you have a couple of options if that happens. You can ask your jungler to come top and break the freeze. See, I don't need a gank, I don't need to commit anything, I just need to come up here and just shove the wave with me to get it reset, right? You can work with that. On top of that, it's also game dependent. So if you know that the enemy top laner isn't really looking to freeze, you can just buy Tiamat and you're fine, right? And or if they're, you also got to think about items they build. A lot of tanks get Sunfire, right? Or they'll get Thormail, or like a lot of carry tops still get just Rush Tiamat just cause. And you cannot keep away Frozen with Tiamat, right? You cannot keep away Frozen with Sunfire. It will push. And worst case, if it does get slightly frozen, you can ask your jungler to come up, or you can forfeit CS, whatever it is. At the end of the day, with Fiora's playstyle, Tiamat is just so important. Like if you can't win the 1v1, or you're not gonna TP to be more effective than the top laner against you in most cases. So you're left with punishing roams and 1v1ing. And if you're afraid to go that route, it's like you're just kind of holding yourself back. What I would say is if you're afraid in that situation again, you're like worried about getting frozen on, buy Tiamat anyways. And then if you do get frozen on, try to figure out a way to get it broken, right? And sometimes you don't have to break it. Maybe you're frozen on for a wave, but it pushes next wave, right? So you're fine. You lose like maybe 4 minions. Who cares? At least you have your strength, right? Or you can ask your jungler to come. Or if, let's say you were never able to break the freeze, right? After the game is over, you can look at the VOD, or maybe ask a friend to look at the VOD with you, and you guys can try to figure out what you could have done to break the freeze. Or you can figure out that maybe Tiamat wasn't the right choice in the situation, and then you figure out like why didn't it work here, right? And you come to a conclusion. I would say, rather than being afraid and making a guess, just play one play style, right? And then when it doesn't work, review it, figure out what did it not work because it was the wrong choice, or did it not work because you executed it incorrectly, right? And then once you figure that out, you either learn how to execute it better, you try something different in the same situation, right? With a still going Tiamat, or you learn that for this particular situation and for these exact reasons, you can't do it. Rather than just thinking, I'm afraid of getting frozen on, you know you're going to get frozen on. Like, you know because of this and this and this, that this is going to happen, so you can't buy this, rather than making an assumption, if that makes sense. Yeah, if Panther wants to keep you frozen under tower ult, like, Panther's gonna fall off. And if he just wants to sit there and freeze lane, he's never gonna ult side lanes. You're honestly helping your team. Like, as long as you don't die, you're helping your team. You see in bot lane, again, if you had Tiamat now, you could have gotten a plate for maybe 2. You force him to come, like, he ulted bot 2. So you just push this next wave as hard as you possibly can. I would just parry the whole wave to help the push. Should be able to get at least one plate. Pantene just got a double kill bot. You should be able to get this plate for sure. It takes a little while to push any keys. Are you? Can you get out? Cool. Whatever. If you had Tiamat, you would have gotten a second plate. I guarantee you. Like you would have left at the exact same time you left now, but that plate would be gone. And that would be, even though Pantene just got a double kill bot, right? And here's another thing, right? You would have gotten that plate, 2 plates, right? So that's what, 320 gold. So that means that he got a double kill bot, so you got 600 gold. So now there's only a 280 gold discrepancy there, but you also got minions, right? So you're pretty much even, really. And then since he came straight top here right now, look, he is low HP, low mana. He wants to recall right now. You have Tiamat. You one-shot this wave. The next wave comes. So you one-shot this wave, right? You walk up and stall his recall. You force him to recall under tower, delaying it. And then you one-shot the next wave with Tiamat, right? And then he either loses CS or maybe you get another plate. Or maybe you're freed up to go get a deep ward to cover yourself topside. So you now start doing the 1v1, right? You have a couple options again. I mean, I'm kind of like beating a dead horse here, but I've talked about the Tiamat so much because it's just, it opens up so many options for you. Nice. Kind of walked into you there, but worked out. Good punish. You have Tiamat now anyways, so it doesn't matter. You got it eventually. What is Shyvana doing? Just like took like 2 to 3 tower shots for no reason. And he has ulti. And you're just sitting there like, that's just so greedy. You never got that mark. Holy shit. Let's look at this again. Yeah, you never got it. It's still here. So, when I was first learning Fiora, like, I really had to slow myself down. I would tell myself, you have to get the mark. Like, do not auto, do not start kiting away until you know that mark is down. You have to tunnel them and fight. You see the 1v1, you press spray, whatever, you're looking for that mark is, alright, it's on his backside. I'm hitting that mark, I am not doing anything else, so I get it. So you either walk over and hit it, or you queue behind it, you listen for that sound effect, or look for the animation, and then you move on. You don't just assume you get it and move up, and you start dealing with as much damage as quickly as possible. It's okay to not auto once or twice to get the space you need to guarantee that mark goes down, because that's where the bulk of your DPS comes from, and it's so important. That was close. Didn't need to be that close. But whatever, good job. Got the kill. This game looks pretty good so far. Like, your jungle's fed. Bot lane isn't losing, like... I mean, they're losing, but it's not... I mean, they have gold. They're down, like, 30 CS. But, I mean, Vel'Koz has kills. MF has kills. So, they're not, like... Item-wise, for the timestamp they're at, they're not super behind, but they are behind their opponents. Walk through here. Just walk. Like, don't walk backwards. Like, literally... He kind of ignored you. It's interesting. Because the reason I say don't walk backwards, because whenever I see a top laner flanking me from here, I assume that maybe the jungler is nearby. And I know I have vision right here, so what I can do is I have a wave, right? So the tower's trying to hit me. I'm just gonna walk through here, and then Q over the wall, right? So it's safer.
Shut down.
But if you do the jungler spot side, I guess it doesn't fucking matter. So. You didn't get the mark. You were too close to him. Let's look at what goes wrong here. So he has Tabby and Pen now. Tiamat doesn't hit him. Mark's on the backside. You ate 2 Qs for free, now you're almost half health for no reason. You Q into him. This is where you either have to be 100% confident that at half HP you're gonna hit the stun, or at half HP, you don't care that you're against an Ignite top laner and that you're going to beat him anyways, even though he has 4 kills and Ninja Tabby. Right? Just right fucks you here. And look, you auto attack him after getting the mark, and instead of using that auto attack, you could have walked up here. Like, again, this is what I'm talking about, like prioritizing marks above all else, right? This is, I mean, you're pretty much fucked here anyways, but just like optimizations, right? Let's look here. I mean, this is a little nitpicky, but still. So after you get fucked here, whatever. Alright, you get the bottom mark, you get this mark, right? Cool. Now, walk up immediately to the 3rd mark and auto attack. Your auto attack timer is up because you auto attacked here, then you queue to here, so enough time has passed where your auto attack's up. So just use the movement speed you have from your passive and walk up to right here and just auto attack him. Instead, look, you auto attack in place where the mark you just got was. This auto attack right here that gets no mark at all could have been used to get this mark, and then you could have walked over and got the 4th mark, and maybe somehow sustained through this, which you won't because you're Grievous Wound, but again, let's say you didn't have Ignite here and you're just slow. That could have been the difference, right? This mark would have already been down, and now this last auto attack you go for, this would have been the 4th mark. Now his shield comes up, so big sad there. But also keep in mind, use your E for this auto attack, and you didn't even use it as a reset. So you could have just auto attacked the 4th mark, and even if his shield came up, right, you use your E as a reset and hit it anyways, like just instantly, right? That's knowing your auto attack animation timings. That's knowing that the champion, right? Like, I know my auto attack's up, I'm going for this auto. If I hear the block sound effect, I'm resetting instantly with E to guarantee this hits, right? Oh, again, a little nitpicky, but this is so important to Fiora. It really is. It makes or breaks a good Fiora player. Being able to hit these. Because you, especially in 1v1s, you need to make sure you get all 4 marks down as quickly as possible. So rather than waiting auto attacks, traveling, like meaningless auto attacks traveling between each mark, you just want to get all 4 down immediately, because that raises your DPS. Yeah, it's great because you get the heal, but you also got to keep in mind, like, if you never get all 4 marks, right, that means that for like 8 seconds, whatever, you don't get any new mark spawns. Whereas if you proc all 4 instantly, now your normal passive is up, they're going to keep resetting. So over the course of an 8-second fight, you, instead of getting only 4 or 3, since you never get the 4th mark, right, maybe you get 7 or 8 mark procs in total, right? Because you got the first 4 down, and now you've enabled your passive to activate again.
Turret plating will soon fall.
You really just need to get this tower. Now you should be expecting him to ult you if you go for this. Alright, he just shows. Alright, cool. The bot side. Bot lane just died. You don't have TP. Your ulti is up. I just fight him immediately, yeah. Praetor's getting the back mark. You should queue to this one, not the top one, so you can defend that. Q, alright, whatever. Oh, that's right, it blocked it. That's weird. Because before, it consumed the mark. But this time it didn't. But either way, you could have had that mark already, right, if you prioritized at first, and then the mark that you had to hit would have been right in front of you. And then, even if it got blocked, you could have just auto-attacked right after, because it's so close to you. And then you get the heal. And that, you probably would have won the fight, honestly. It's probably just bugged, honestly. Or maybe it works with normal passive marks, but not when you ult. Which is dumb. Is he really diving? Okay, like, this fucking dragon, dude. What the fuck? Tower. Carry him instantly. Nice. At that point, like, you're not the one getting stunned. You just want to get as much DPS. Get the mark down, parry him so he attacks slower and is physically slowed so that he can't, like, secure the scale and just get all the DPS out at once. That's what you did, so good job. Good job. Yeah, we could have done audio. I just didn't think to bring that up to you. Let's look at this. Yeah, you can just join Discord. We can do an audio. Let it pulse it immediately. Cool. I don't think you need to parry here. I would say parry for his Q. You could have parried that and he's dead. You gotta think about the champion, like, look at this. Let's look at this one more time, right? You have flash, like, there's no way he stops you from getting all these marks with all the movements we have in your kit. You will get all of them. And if anything, you also should have just straight up flashed that Q. Like, that Q shouldn't have hit you. Either you should have held parry, which you should have, for that Q, or you should have instantly flashed that Q. There's no reason you should have gotten hit by that. Alright, let's be in the Discord then. Yo.
I'm gonna mute your stream.
I wouldn't mute my stream, honestly. I'm gonna just not talk in Discord and you'll hear me on stream because I'm gonna be talking about stuff and then you're not gonna see it till 10-15 seconds later. So I would just watch the stream, and then if you want to talk about something or say something, just say it and I'll pause, basically. Right?
Oh, I wasn't gonna leave the stream, I was just gonna mute the mute or the sound.
Again, I wouldn't mute the sound because I would. You can mute the sound when you start talking, I guess, after I made a point. But I would listen to me on stream. That way, what I'm talking about and what we're looking at lines up, right? I can also actually yeah. So does that make sense?
Yeah, your turn.
All right. So we got right now. Rush Death Stance. That's fine. They have a lot of bursts.
Red team has slain
So let's take a pause on the game state. So you finally got top tower. You walk down mid. Your team just did dragon. Cool. You don't really have a reason. I like that you walk down while they're doing dragon in case a fight broke out. That's fine. At this point, you should go immediately back top. Your priority this game is just to be in side lanes, hitting towers, punishing Pantheon for roams, and just trying to get 1v1s. So you should just be walking top right now. No reason to be mid anymore. No reason to be here. No reason to be here. You know what you end up doing? You end up giving, look at this wave here. It's a wave and a half, right? Roughly. You give it all to Misfortune. When that could have been you know? And you're just not doing anything. You walked mid, so it's been like a minute now. You have a farm in bot. You're splitting farm.
shut down.
I mean, you definitely want to be... At this point in the game, you want to be bot side just because there's no neutral objective for the enemy team to fight here, so they're going to be top side. Unless they're committed to getting this tower. It really depends. You already got your tower, though, and you just want to be on the side of the map that the enemy team is less likely to be on. If it happens to be bot lane, you go bot lane. A good tool of thumb to figure out where you need to be if you're just trying to split and stay away from the enemy team and create pressure is where's the objective that the enemy team wants to fight over most, right? And usually that's a neutral objective like Dragon or Baron or Herald, right? So we just killed Dragon, right? So the only neutral objective that's up for grabs is Herald, so the jungler should be playing on top side, which means that's where the bulk of people are. You got your tower, so you want to be on the bottom side of the map, right? Now, unfortunately, both bot towers are still up, so the enemy bot lane will probably stay here, which makes it a little harder for you to play your win condition. Ideally, one of these towers would be gone, and then they're not here. So, because I guarantee you, this bot tower is gone, or this bot tower is gone, then everyone would be topside right now because Herald's up, and one of these towers has already fallen. So there's not really much to take here anymore. Yeah, there's not much you can do here. And then you guys are mid and bot lane. 3 people died. 3v2, they died top lane. That's yikes.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Alright, looks like we're about to have a big fight. So you do have TP. Just because your win condition is split doesn't mean you can't TP. So we're looking. They just caught real hard. They eat a big chunk out for you. You can't fix this. You can start walking just in case, which is what you're doing. Just fine. There's nothing you can do at this point. Just kind of lose your base. Alright, so we'll fast forward to the next fight. You guys like ace each other? This kill feed looks really weird. Alright, they're fighting mid again. So if you get a recall in here, you better be prepping the TP. So you're recalling, you know you need to heal, you want to buy something, is what I assume. Let's see how much gold you have.
Yeah, this game was like super wild. Our Vel'Koz kind of started griefing, but it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, to me, it just like people got caught. It's really... I haven't seen anything that just looks like terrible. Although, them dying 3v2 topside when you and Shiv were bot was like, that's really bad. You shouldn't be dying outnumbered. Like, that's not good. Let's see. So basically, you want to buy a 2k or whatever. Your teammate, another fight's happening mid. Good God. So at this point, like if I were you, right, this is what I'd be doing. I know I have gold. I know what I should know what I want to buy, right? So I'm pressing P. I'm pulling up the shop to, bring up the item I'm going to buy, and then I'm looking. Then I immediately look mid. I try to look for the nearest ward or nearest minion, just anything that I can TP to. Here's this ward, right? Or I can TP to this ward, right? Or this ward. Like I see 3 spots, and I look at where the enemy is and like what. Basically, I'm getting ready to TP to this fight in case I have to, and it's easier to TP to this fight if you plan out where you can TP to. Because let's say you recall, right? Then you buy your items, like okay, now I'm ready to TP, and then you're looking for something to TP. Whereas during the 8-second channel here to recall, you get your buy prepped and you figure out where you're gonna TP. That way, the moment you land in Fountain, you buy your item instantly and you immediately TP. There's no downtime because I guarantee you, like if you prep that way, you can TP within the first 1 to 2 seconds of getting in the Fountain, maybe faster, sometimes instantly. Or if you're not prepped, you haven't prepped your buy and you haven't figured out your TP locations, it can take you like an extra 4 seconds, right? And you also got to keep in mind that TP is a 4-second channel, so that is 8 seconds of downtime, which is huge. At the fight's might as well just you're not going to impact that fight if it takes you 8 seconds to get there, if it had already started. So TP is going through. I'd be looking for a TP. They have a flank here. I would just TP to this ward right here, or the one that he's hitting. Either or. Like you have so many options. You could have TP'd here to cut off their spat. Looks like they end up just fighting anyway, so it worked out for you guys. Alright, they flash. I just would take these flashes at this point. He wants to fight you. Wow, they actually walk back into you in there. That's so stupid. Like, they flash out. Like, yeah, you guys win that. They flash out. Okay, it's over. They walk back into you and give it to you, so... I mean, that was... Like, you played that fine there. They kind of, like, greeted, though. You guys have good dragon control. Like, even though... Like, this game is so weird. You're only down 2 kills. You have 3 dragons to 0. That works really well with Shyvana's passive. You're gonna hard outscale the enemy top laner. We have really good stall with Vel'Koz wave clear. Like, I wonder what happens to like really blow this game up. Let's look. Yeah, so Misfortune solo farms the lane, Pantheon ults her and kills her. Go figure. But 80 carry should not be farming against any global ultimate like assassins without coverage. That means the support nearby or jungle nearby later in the game. So they're bad. And then let's look at this. Vel'Koz is up solo farming too. And here comes an Ash Arrow. Yep. Again, you can't do that without coverage against pick comps or globals. So again, there's nothing you can do here. Just kind of concede. Sona has ulti. Can't walk up. Waiting for your teammates to spawn. Shyvana's opting to split. So when you're jungler splitting bot, it's gonna be a 4v5 topside no matter what. You kind of just have to concede top side and just let her split. You can trade, like, if she takes this and they take this, it's an even trade. It doesn't matter. So you sit back, wait, clear what you can safely, is the keyword here, and let yourself trade the towers. And maybe Shyvana will push faster. She does have Mountain, right? They parry. Oh well. Well, look, she's hitting tower, right? What goes wrong here? Alright, she gets fucked. That's her mistake. And then you guys, they're on top of a Cho'Gath Q. And you just gun it. You should just be gunning it. You can't turn here. Like, what are the chances with your AP dead instantly, and just you and MF are gonna 2v5 these guys under this tower at 25 minutes? 0. You could have lived here. Yeah, you trade 1 for 1, but you didn't need to die here at all. Like, Katarina took a really stupid aggressive path. She didn't realize that they were just trading this. Then MF was just kind of standing still here, ate a Cho'Gath Q for free, and then you tried to turn this for some reason when you had a clear window to get out. So it's like you guys just don't understand that we're trading tier 2s for tier 2s. It's dead even. Like, we're not going to 3v5 these guys anyways. We just have to do this. We're just not understanding that, what I see there. Use inhib for that, use 2 inhibs for that. And then Shyvana dies. No, she lives. She kills him. Cool. Gonna kill him again. Like, you're really strong at this point. It looks like we only got like 2 more fights left. Yeah, being a top laner with Tiamat with double inhib down at this point, you're just kind of AFK clearing waves, hoping that your teammates don't get caught. The enemy team will probably take Baron. Not much you can do about that. And then just hoping you get the 5v5 or someone comes topside and you just 1v1 them. Alright, looks like you're TPing to fight. You could have TP'd back here, that would have been better. You just died for that, yeah. So, this is what I'll say. When you're farming a lane, right, later in the game, with no one pressuring you, so that means there's no laner, like, right? And you're TP and you're planning and getting ready to TP, you should just right click on this wave or attack click, so you automatically just attack whatever's nearby and just watch the fight. So you should have seen that Sono used ulti, right? So you don't have to parry that. But if you also gotta think about, okay, if I'm going into these 3 players, you should already know what fucks you, right? The hard CC, right? So Sono ulti is down. What else is there? Only Ashe Arrow, okay? If you don't know, if Ashe Arrow is up, you can't press parry. Just randomly. And if you don't know, and even maybe you didn't see this on ulti, you can't just press parry. Now maybe you thought it was up, and so you Q forward and press it instantly, thinking that, okay, she will just react ult me here, and maybe I'll just get the coin flip and block it. So that makes sense. But then at the same time, you have this flash, right? It's about to be up. It looks like it's up in like 4 seconds, maybe 2 seconds, if that. Let's see. It's up now. Now it's up. As you are dying, it comes up. So you could have waited half a second, QW'd in, right, to take the coin flip if Sona ults you, and then if she doesn't ult you, you see that Ashe Arrow come out, you could flash it instantly. Your splash wasn't up yet. You could have just waited like 2 seconds, and you guarantee a safe play. Again, this is a little nitpicky. A little nitpicky. Might as well, especially when you're on the back foot in the fight, you need to utilize all the cooldowns. Looks like you punish them for this. Yeah, you guys kill them again. But you have an open nexus, both inhibs are down, the game's over. Let's look at this last fight. And Pantheon backdoors, yeah, I'm not even gonna watch this. Okay, so all in all, the big things for you this game, like there are a couple times where your teammates just die in the map, there's nothing you can do about it, or they die, then the team groups up in a lane and you're the only one left, and like you obviously can't wave clear or 1v5, like there's nothing you do in those situations. That's not what you fixate on, alright? You fixate on the stuff you have agency over. So better TP locations. The biggest thing in this game was just kind of laning phase. The way you played lane and the way you prioritize hitting marks is the way you ulted this game wasn't bad, but it could be better. And then against better players, the way you played around your ulti is bad, right? this game is fine, but you need to prioritize use saving Q to hit the marks that are closest to walls or closest to escape paths that are harder to get. That way, you guarantee that goes down, and all that's left are easy to hit marks, right? And the big thing in lane is, I think the biggest thing in lane was really just the use of your parry. You'd go in and parry, it's fine, whatever, but then you try trading with Pantheon when the parry is down. When you're playing against someone who has like a point-click CC or just a really strong disrupt against you in lane, and usually parry's longer than all those cooldowns, so you have to be cognizant of that, and you go for a trade. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, great, or not great, whatever, but you have to wait for that spell to be back up again, because they will punish you, because when you trade in 8 seconds, when your parry is still down, their spell is going to be up, right? And it's just something to keep in mind. And I think those are really only the 2 biggest things to take away from this, aside from like the thing we talked about with Tiamat. That was really important too. So I guess we'll say 3 things, right? Tiamat is so important, especially against global roamers. You punish the shit out of them for it. And that's basically what I would take away. So I don't really have anything else to say about this game. So that's all I got, dude. Do you have any questions or anything you want to say?
Well, no, that was good. I appreciate it all.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, hopefully you got something from it. And I will be uploading this at some point in the next like 24 hours to YouTube. So if you want to skim over stuff we talked about, you can look at it again. So,
Where do you think I should keep doing what I'm doing so far? Or
yeah, I mean,
I'm assuming.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, your Fiora is not that bad. Like, it looks like you have pretty good understanding of the champion. A lot of the stuff that I talked about, how you use your Qs and your ulti, whatever, is nitpicky, and there's like optimizations. But if you make those, it'll make you a much more solid Fiora player, and I think you're already in a pretty good spot. You just need to optimize, right? And then once you optimize and you figure out proper builds in the right situations, and that just comes from games and just going with something, like not being afraid, like I'm afraid this will happen if I buy this item. Just buy it and see what happens, see if you can make it work, right? That's all you really need, and then from there it just becomes decision making, because you're really close to a point where like your champion pick is solid, and all you need is macro after that point. So that's huge, because a lot of players have both.
Okay. I think my macro's okay. I think literally my only problem is my macro, because like a lot of that game, I was literally running around not knowing what to do, or standing in a place that I didn't know what to play.
Well, I think like item choice comes down is a macro thing, right? If your playstyle is to punish the roams, right? That's a macro decision. That's why you need Tiamats. There was an issue there, and like you said,
Sure.
Your micro is pretty good. I'd say like your Fiora is very close to being really solid, just a few optimizations, right? And then after that, you only have macro. A lot of players have big issues in both, and that's why people tell you just pick a role and pick a champion, because you eliminate one of those, and it's a lot easier to improve. So you're really close to that point. So just keep doing what you're doing, optimize your micro as best you can, and then you're just gonna start climbing. Because all you have to work on is macro at that point. So, I mean, you're already climbing as is. It's just gonna get more and more. So keep doing what you're doing, dude.
I appreciate it, boss.
All right, take care. Have a good night, man.
You too.